Hi everyone, today let's talk about DC generator. So an electrical generator is a machine which converts mechanical energy into an electrical energy. And we have the two basic essential parts for an electrical generator. So number one is the magnetic field and number two is the conductors or are the conductors which cut the magnetic flux that is produced by the magnetic field. So as we can see in this figure, we have here some of the parts of the DC generator which are essential in those energy conversion. So we have here the armature. So we can also see the brush, the commutator, the frame or yoke, and the pole shoe and the field windings. Of course, yung ating generator shaft is also important because doon sa kanya nakalagay yung ating armature. So in this figure, meron tayo dito ang single turn rectangular copper coil, ABCD, which is rotating about its axis sa magnetic field provided by either permanent or electromagnet. So yung magnetic field natin sa ating generator, it can be produced by a permanent magnet or by electromagnets. Then yung two ends of our coil are joined by the two slip rings A and B. So dito sa ating figure, sa figure A, we have here the North and South Pole. So, ito yung North Pole, ito yung South Pole, and ito yung coil ABCD natin. Yan. Then, ito yung dalawang slip rings. So, this is the brushes. So, and ito yung external load natin. So, yung function ng ating brushes is to collect the current. So, to collect the current induced in the coil and to convey it to the external load. So, from the coil, pupunta siya ngayon sa slip rings, then i-collect ng ating brushes, papunta doon sa ating external circuit. Ngayon, yung working principle, so induced EMF is proportional to the rate of change of the flux linkage. So we have here the formula. E is equal to N d flux over dt. So makikita natin dyan that it is dependent on time and sa rate of change ng ating flux. So sabi dito, when the plane of the coil is at right angles to the lines of flux, so the flux linkage or the flux link with the coil is minimum or maximum. But yung rate of change ng flux natin is minimum. So remember that in this formula, we are after the rate of change of flux natin. So when the rate of change of flux is minimum, ibig sabihin, from the start, so zero siya, so wala tayong mapuproduce na generated EMF. So, ngayon, as this coil ABCD rotates with its own axis through the magnetic field, kapag naging parallel na siya doon sa ating magnetic field, so sa ating field lines, so when the coil plane is parallel to the lines of flux, then the flux link with the coil is in minimum. But yung rate of change ng flux linkage natin is at maximum. So, kaya kung makikita natin dito sa graph, so this is from time 1 or time 0. So, hanggang papunta dito sa time 3. Now, itong start na to is naka-perpendicular yung plane ng ating coil doon sa magnetic flux. Then, at this instant, na nasa point 3 na siya, then our coil is in parallel with the magnetic flux. So, the flux linkage is at maximum. Then, kapag umikot na naman by another 90 electrical degrees, so babalik na naman siya dito sa 0.5. Then, magkakaroon ng pag-alternate. So, from 0.1, then magpipik siya at 0.3, then bababa ulit sa 0.5, then magpipik na naman at 0.7, then babalik. Then, this is what we call one complete cycle of rotation. So, the current produced from a simple generator loop reverses direction every half a revolution. Then, the current undergoing the period reversal is called our alternating current. So, doon sa armature, alternating current yung napoproduce. But, sabi nga, DC generator to. So, paano nakakapag-produce ng DC voltage or DC current? So, for making the flow of current unidirectional, ibig sabihin in one direction, walang reversal. So, kung one direction yan, dapat nandito lang sa positive. So, these slip rings are replaced by split rings. Okay. So, yung slip rings doon sa previous figure, it is replaced by split rings. So, kaya ngayon nakakapag-produce tayo ng unidirectional current sa ating generator. Then, for practical generator, meron tayong some of the essential parts. We have the magnetic frame or our yoke. We also have the pole coils or field coils, then armature windings, brushes and bearings, pole core and pole shoes, armature core, and the commutator. So let's discuss each in the next slide. So yung magnetic frame or yoke natin, we have here the purpose. So it serves double purpose. Number one, it provides mechanical support for the poles and acts as a protecting cover for the whole machine. So, nagpo-provide siya ng support doon sa ating magnetic poles. Kasi doon sa yoke, naka-attach yung pole coils or yung ating poles ng electrical machine natin. Then, it carries the magnetic flux produced by the poles. So, yun yung trabaho ng ating magnetic frame or yoke. Then, next is the pole coils or field coils. So, these field coils or pole coils consist of copper wire or strip. Then, they are former wound for correct dimension. So, kapag dumaan yung current dito sa ating coils, nagkakaroon ng electromagnet or nagiging electromagnet yung ating poles. Then, nagpo-produce siya ngayon ng necessary flux that is cut by the revolving armature conductor. So, yun yung sa ating pole coils or field coils. The next one is the armature winding. So, armature winding can be formed by interconnecting the armature conductor. So, when the armature winding is turned with the help of the prime mover, then the voltage as well as the magnetic flux gets induced in it. So, dito ngayon sa ating armature winding, nagkakaroon ng generated voltage. Kapag umikot siya doon sa ating at nag-cut ng ating magnetic flux doon sa generator. Then, yung brushes and bearings naman, so brushes in the DC machine gather the current from the commutator and supply it to the external load. So from the commutator ngayon, it is collected by the brushes. Then yung brushes yung nagsusupply ngayon doon sa ating external circuit. So they are made of graphite or carbon. So yun yung materials that made up the brushes ng ating DC generator. Then for core and pole shoe. So the field magnets consist of our pole cores and pole shoes. So the pole shoe serves two purposes. Yung una, they spread out the flux in the air gap, and also being of larger section reduces the reluctance of the magnetic path. Then it supports the existing coil or field coils kasi dito sa part na to naka-wound yung ating field coils. It houses the armature conductors. So ito yung example ng ating armature core. Then in this armature, so naandito ngayon naka-insert yung ating armature windings. So dito sa mga slots na to ng armature core. So it is a cylindrical or drum shape and is built up usually of circular sheet steel disc or laminations approximately 0.5 mm thick. So yung purpose ng ating paggamit ng lamination is to reduce the loss due to eddy currents. So kaya laminated yung ating armature core. Then commutator, it is a cylindrical structure and is built up of wedge-shaped segments. Then the function of the commutator is to facilitate the collection of current from the armature conductors. So from the armature windings, doon sabi ko kanina, doon na po produce yung ating generated voltage and current. Now, it is being collected to the or by the commutator, and from the commutator it is transferred to the brushes and to the external circuit. So yun yung flow ng ating generated voltage and current. So let's talk about pole pitch. So the definition, it is the periphery of the armature divided by the number of poles of the generator, or it is equal to the number of armature conductors per pole. So meron tayo ditong example. If there are 48 conductors and 4 poles in a DC generator, so what is the pole pitch? So by definition, it is just 48 divided by 4 because sabi sa definition, armature conductors per pole. So we have 48 conductors divided by the number of poles, which is 4. So 48 divided by 4, that is equal to 12. So our pole pitch is equal to 12. So for the coil span or what we call coil pitch, yung coil span natin is defined as the peripheral distance between the two coil sides of the coil. So measured in terms of the number of armature slots between them. Ngayon, dito sa ating example, we have here the single turn coil and the multi-turn coil. Ngayon, dito sa side na to, nandito yung unang side ng ating coil. Then, here is the second side. Now, the distance between the two coil sides is called the coil span or coil pitch. Ngayon, kung ilang armature slots yan, that is the coil pitch or coil span na tinatawag. Then, we have here a condition. If the coil span is equal to the pole pitch, then the armature winding is said to be pole pitch. So, kung yung pole pitch, sabi natin kanina, the pole pitch is equal to the armature conductors divided by the number of poles. So if that coil span in this slide, if the coil span is equal to the pole pitch, so it is termed as full pitched coil. For the pitch of the winding, we have some terminologies here. Number 1 is the back pitch. Yung pangalawa is front pitch. Then number 2 is the resultant pitch and the commutator pitch. So for the back pitch, a coil advances on the back of the armature. So this advancement is measured in terms of the armature conductor. So we have here a example figure to illustrate the pitch of the winding. So ito yung ating back pitch. For this winding, ito yung back pitch natin. Then for the front pitch, it is the number of armature conductors or elements spanned by the coil in the front. So naandito yung front pitch natin. Then the resultant pitch is the distance between the beginning of one coil and the beginning of the next coil. So this is the beginning of the first coil. Then this is the beginning of the second coil. By the way, this type of winding illustrated here is called lap winding. Now, ang tinatawag natin na resultant pitch is the distance between the beginning of the first coil and the second coil. So ito yon for the lap winding. Then for the wave winding, it is different. Kasi as you can see, nandito yung back pitch niya sa lap. Then ito yung back pitch sa lap. Ito yung front pitch. Then for the lap winding, ito yung formula for ating resultant pitch. So YB minus YF. Then for the wave winding, it is YB plus YF or at yung ating back pitch at front pitch. So pinag-add yung dalawa. So we have here the two most commonly employed drum type armature windings, which is the lap winding and the wave winding. So yung difference ng dalawa is due to the arrangement of the end connections at the front or commutator end of armature. Kasi kung makikita nyo, ito yung para sa arrangement, para sa lap winding. Ito. Then ito naman yung arrangement para sa wave winding. So for the simplex lap winding, we have here some points that must be carefully noted regarding the simplex lap winding. So number 1, the back and front pitches are odd and should be opposite in sign. Then but they cannot be equal. So they differ by 2 or some multiple thereof. Yung pangalawa naman is yung both yung back pitch at front pitch should be nearly equal sa ating full pitch. Then pangatlo, yung average pitch is equal to the back pitch plus front pitch divided by 2. Then it is equal to the full pitch Z over P. Then yung pang-apat naman is yung commutator pitch natin, Y sub C, must be equal to plus or minus 1 for simplex lap winding. Then in general, for simplex lap, for lap winding, the Y sub C or the commutator pitch is equal to plus or minus the multiplicity ng ating winding. Then for the resultant pitch, Y sub R, it is the back pitch minus front pitch. So number 6, the number of armature slots for a two-layer winding is equal to the number of coils. Then yung commutator segment naman is also the same. So the number of parallel paths in the armature for simplex lap is equal to MP, where M is the multiplicity ng winding natin. Then P is the number of poles. So taking the first condition, we have Y sub B, or the back pitch, is equal to plus or minus 2. YF plus or minus 2. Then for the winding to be progressive, YB must be greater than the YF, or yung back pitch is greater than front pitch. Then kapag retrogressive, the back pitch is less than the front pitch. So hence, it is obvious that for progressive winding, yung front pitch natin is equal to Z over P minus 1, wherein yung Z over P natin, ito, is our pole pitch. Then, for Y sub B, it is equal to Z over P plus 1. So, for retrogressive, magkabaliktad yung dalawa. YF is equal to Z over P plus 1. Then, Y sub B is equal to Z over P minus 1. So, we have here an example. Sabi dito, draw a developed diagram of a simple two-layer lap winding for a 4-pole generator with 16 coils. Then, hence, point out the characteristics of a lap winding. So, for the solution, according to the problem, the number of commutator segments ng ating example is equal to 16 because we have 16 coils. Then, the number of conductor, since this is a two-layer lap winding, that must be equal to 16 times 2. So, that is equal to 32. Then, our pole pitch, since the pole pitch is equal to the number of conductor divided by the number of pole, we have the 32 divided by pole, divided by 4, since 4 pole yung generator natin, which is equal to 8. So, yung pole pitch natin is equal to 8. So now, remembering that YB and YF have to be add and they have to be differ by 2. So, we get the progressive winding for YB. Since progressive winding, YB must be greater than YF. So, YB is equal to 9 kasi YB is equal to Z. For progressive, YB is equal to Z over P plus 1. So, since yung Z over P natin is equal to 8, then 8 plus 1 is equal to 9. Then for YF, we have Z over P, 8, then minus 1. So, kaya 8 minus 1 is 7. So, bakit negative ito, yung isa positive? So, negative yung isa dahil yung YB and YF should have opposite sign. So, for retrogressive winding, magkabaliktad naman yung value. So, for YB, we have positive 7 and yung Y sub F is equal to negative 9. Yan. Then, here is the simple winding table. So, taking the values of Y sub B is equal to 9 and Y sub F is equal to 7. So, negative 7. So, this table is a progressive. So, progressive winding. So, from the back connection, we have, start tayo from 1. So, from 1, mag-a-add tayo ng 9. Then, it is connected to conductor number 10. So, yung conductor number 1 natin sa back connection is connected to conductor number 10. Then, sa front connection, yung conductor number 10 natin, since YF is equal to negative 7, so magma-minus tayo ng 7 doon sa ating 10. So, 10 minus 7, it is 3. So, therefore, sa front connection, yung conductor number 10 natin is connected doon sa conductor number 3. Then, balik tayo doon sa back connection. So, yung conductor number 3 at the back will be connected to conductor number 12 because 3 plus 9 is 12. Then, sa front naman, conductor number 12 is connected to conductor number 5. So, basically, ganun lang yung mangyayari. Sa back connection, magpa-plus 9 tayo. Sa front connection, magma-minus 7 tayo. Then, until such time na makuha natin yung 1 na value doon sa pinaka-last. So, that's the time na magko-close yung winding natin because we go back to where we started. So, nag-start tayo sa 1, then nag-end tayo sa 1. So, ganun lang po kasimple yung paggawa ng winding table sa lap winding. Simplex lap winding. So, ito yung connections niya. Pag nakita natin sa armature. So, ganyan siya. So, ito yung conductor number 1. So, conductor number 1. Sabi doon kanina sa winding table, it is connected to conductor number 10 at the back. So, yan. Kung iti-trace natin yan, ito yung conductor number 10. Then, commutator number 2. So, conductor number 10 is connected to conductor number 3. Kasi 10 minus 7 is 3. Then, conductor number 3 is connected to conductor number 12. Then, 12 is connected to conductor number 5. Then, conductor number 5 is connected to conductor number 14. So on and so forth hanggang makabalik tayo dito sa conductor number 1. So, yun po yung paggawa. Then, for simplex wave winding naman, ganito po yung itsura ng wave winding natin. So, we have the back pitch and the front pitch which must be nearly equal to the pole pitch. So, yung average pitch natin is the same or average pitch natin is equal to Z plus or minus 2 over the number of pole. Then, for the YA, it should be noted that it must be even. So, the average pitch should always be even. So, yan. We have some important points to note in the simplex wave winding. Number 1, both pitches, back pitch and front pitch are odd end of some same sign. So, kung doon sa ating lap winding, yung front pitch and back pitch natin must be opposite sign, dito sa ating simplex wave winding, the front pitch and the back pitch should be the same sign. So, kung positive yan, positive. So, kung negative, negative. So, the back and front pitches are nearly equal to the pole pitch and may be equal or differ by 2. So, in which case, they are respectively 1 or more less than the average pitch. Then, our resultant pitch, Y sub R, is equal to the sum of the front pitch and back pitch. Yung commutator pitch natin is equal to average pitch. Then, the average pitch is equal to Z plus or minus 2 divided by the number of poles. So the number of coils can be found by the relation N sub C is equal to the number of poles times the average pitch plus or minus 2 over 2. Then it is obvious that for wave winding, the number of armature conductors with 2 is either added or subtracted, must be a multiple of the number of poles of the generator. So this restriction eliminates many even numbers which are unstable for winding. So, sinasabi dito sa number 7 that our armature conductors must be a multiple of our number of poles when added or subtracted by 2. So, in the next example, makikita natin kung ano yung ibig sabihin ng condition number 7. So, the number of armature parallel paths must be equal to 2m or should be equal to 2m. Our m is the multiplicity of the winding. So, for simplex wave, m is equal to 1. Then, for duplex, m is equal to 2. Triplex, m is equal to 3. So on and so forth. Kasi hindi lang naman simplex yung type of winding na ginagamit sa ating DC generator. It can be duplex, triplex, quadruplex depending on the design ng ating armature. So example, for the wave winding, simplex wave, draw a developed diagram of a simplex two-layer wave winding for the 4-pole DC generator with 30 armature conductors. So hence, point out the characteristic of a simple wave winding. So, dito sa example natin, for the solution, we have YA or the average pitch is equal to 30 plus or minus 2 over 4. So, that is equal to 8 or 7. So, taking YA is equal to 7, we have the back pitch is equal to 7 and the front pitch is equal to 7. Bakit? Kasi kung kukunin natin yung kung hindi equal yung dalawa sa 7, yung condition na yung back pitch and front pitch should be add is mababiolate. Okay? So, since yung average pitch natin na kinuha is doon sa 7, so YB and YF should be equal also. Kasi kapag nag-plus 1 tayo, magiging 8. Kapag nag-minus 1, magiging 6. And that makes the number even. Then, ito yung sinasabi na dapat yung conductor, kapag nag-plus or minus 2 tayo, doon sa conductor and divided by the number of pole should be a multiple of the number of pole. So, kasi this 30 plus or minus 2, so 30 plus 2 divided by 4, so that is equal to 32 over 4, which is equal to 8. And yung isa, 30 plus 30 minus 2 over 4. So, this is equal to 28 over 4, which is equal to 7. Ngayon, kapag 32 yan, for example, yung number of conductors natin is 32. So, subukan natin yung 32. So, if Z is equal to 32, so, YA is equal to 32 plus or minus 2 over 4 for the pole for generator. We have 34 over 4. So, hindi siya whole number. So, magiging siyang 8.5. And kapag yung isa naman, 32 minus 2 over 4, magiging siyang 7.5. So, hindi whole number. Ibig sabihin, hindi siya multiple ng ating number of poles. So for the solution, since yung YA natin is equal to 30 plus or minus 2 divided by 4, so yung ating average pitch can be equal to 8 or 7. So kunin natin yung value na 7 for average pitch. So since 7 yung average pitch natin, our YB and YF is also equal to 7. Kasi kapag plus 1 pa tayo sa YA natin, plus or minus 1, magiging even number na yan. So, hindi na magiging valid. Therefore, magkapareho yung back pitch at front pitch natin, which is equal to 7. So, for the table, since parehas naman positive, parehas tayo mag-a-add ng 7 for front and back connections. So, we start from the conductor number 1. So, plus 7 tayo. Then, pupunta siya ngayon doon sa conductor number 8. Then, sa front connection, conductor number 8 will be connected to conductor number 15. So, kasi 8 plus 7 is equal to 15. Now, pansinin natin, pagdating dito sa conductor number 29, since meron lang tayong 30 conductors. So, from conductor 29 sa front, so babalik siya dito sa back. So, sa back connection, conductor number 29 is connected to conductor number 36. But we have no conductor number 36 since meron lang tayong 30 armature conductors. So, yung gagawin natin, yung conductor number 36 is isusubtract natin yung number of conductor which is 30. So, 36 minus 30 is equal to 6. Therefore, yung conductor number 36 natin is just equal to conductor number 6. Then, proceed ulit tayo sa front. Conductor number 36 will be connected to conductor number 13 because 6 plus 7 is equal to 13. Then, 13 plus 7 is 20. Then, 20 plus 7 is 27. Then, pagdating naman dito sa conductor 27, kapag pumunta na tayo sa back connection, yung conductor 27, pag nag-add tayo ng 7, will be equal to 34. So, since wala naman tayong number 34 na conductor, kasi nga 30 lang yung armature conductors natin, isusubtract ulit natin yung number of conductors doon sa nakuha natin, and 34 minus 30 will be equal to 4. So, ibig sabihin, yung conductor number 34 natin is equal to conductor number 4. Then, proceed na ulit tayo. So, hanggang marating natin yung conductor number 1 sa dulo. So, we go back to where we started. So, since nag-start tayo sa conductor number 1, mag-i-end tayo sa conductor number 1. So, ganun lang po. Then, ito na ngayon yung diagram. So, yung conductor number 1 natin, ito, is connected to conductor number 8 doon sa back. Then, conductor number 8 will be connected to conductor number 15. Then, 15 will be connected to conductor number 22. Then, 22 will be connected to conductor number 29. So on and so forth. So, kapag trinis mo yan, ganyan yan. Ito naman yung pagkalagay niya ngayon sa ating armature since this is a 2-layer wave winding. For your coursework number 1, this should be written in a long size bond paper. Write down the winding table for a 2-layer simplex lap winding for a 4-pole DC generator having for letter A, 20 slots and for letter B, 13 slots. For your coursework number 2, with the simplex 2-layer wave winding having 26 conductors and 4 poles, write down the winding table. So, parehas lang sa coursework number 1. Ganon din yung gagawin nyo sa coursework number 2. Yung pinagkaiba lang for coursework number 1, that is for lap winding, and for coursework number 2, that is for wave winding. So, you have to submit this one on our next meeting. Okay, let's talk about the general voltage equation for DC generator. The total voltage generated, which is represented by EG, is given by the formula EG is equal to PZN flux over 68 times 10 raised to negative 8 volts, wherein our EG is equal to the total generated voltage, and that is measured in volts. Our P represents the number of poles. Our Z represents the total number of armature conductors, and our phi represents the flux per pole in Maxwell. Then N is the speed of armature measured in RPM. And A is the number of armature paths connected in parallel. So we have two values of A, wherein A is equal to MP, or the multiplicity times the number of poles for the lap winding, and A is equal to 2M for the wave winding. Now, in the event that the flux per pole is given in the unit of Weber, so we eliminate the 10 raised to negative 8 na minumultiply natin. So, our formula just becomes EG is equal to PZ N flux. So, N flux over 60A. So, wala na yung 10 raised to negative 8 na minumultiply natin sa formula because 1 Weber is equivalent to 10 raised to 8 Maxwell. So, kaya tanggal na po yung 10 raised to negative 8 kapag Weber yung unit of flux per pole. Ngayon, kapag Maxwell, nandyan pa rin yung 10 raised to negative 8. For our example, number 1, we have here an 85 kilowatt 6-pole generator has an armature containing 66 slots, and in each slot we have 12 conductors. Then the armature winding is connected so that there are 6 parallel paths. If each pole produces 2.18 times 10 raised to 6 Maxwell, and the armature speed is 870 RPM, determine the generated voltage. So in the next slide, we write the solution. Let us first enumerate the given of the problem. So for the given, we have P is equal to 6 because as stated, it is 6 poles. Then we have Z, which is the number of conductors, which is equal to 66 slots times 12 conductors per slot, and that is equal to 792. So 792 yung number of conductors natin. Then our speed is equal to 870 RPM. Then the flux per pole is equal to 2.18 times 10 raised to 6 Maxwell. And our A, which is the number of parallel path, is equal to 6. So dahil as stated, 6 parallel paths yung given sa problem. Therefore, kompleto yung given natin. We can calculate now the generated voltage EG. Then EG is given by the formula P, Z, N flux over 60A. Since Maxwell yung given na flux per pole, magmumultiply tayo ng 10 raised to negative 8. Therefore, our EG is equal to P, which is 6, then times number of conductor, which is 792, times the number of, or the speed, which is 870 RPM, times the flux per pole, which is 2.18 times 10 raised to 6, and that is Maxwell, divided by 60 times the number of parallel paths stated is 6. So, magmumultiply tayo ng 10 raised to negative 8. Then, our EG, if we calculate, so we have 6 times 792 times 870 times 2.18 times 10 raised to 6 divided by 60 times 6 times 10 raised to negative 8. So we have EG is 250.35. So 35 volts. And that is the generated voltage for condition number 1 or example number 1. Okay, in this next example, we are asked to find the number of armature conductors. So, how many armature conductors are there in a generator given the following information? So, we have the generated voltage of 240 volts and the number of pole is equal to 4. We also have a flux per pole of 2.73 times 10 raised to 6 Maxwell and the speed is 1,200 RPM. Then the number of parallel path is equal to 2. So for the solution, we write the formula. Our EG is equal to PJN flux over 68, then times 10 raised to negative 8. So since we are after the number of armature conductors, we isolate the variable that represents the number of conductors. Therefore, our formula now becomes J is equal to EG times 60 times the number of parallel paths, which is A, divided by P and flux times 10 raised to negative 8. Then we substitute the given. For EG, we have 240 volts and our 60, then times number of parallel paths, which is 2, then the number of pole, which is equal to 4, our N is equal to 1,200, then the flux per pole is 2.73 times 10 raised to 6, then multiplied by 10 raised to negative 8. Therefore, our Z is equal to 220 conductors. So, kasi if we calculate this one, mag-a-arrive siya at 219.78. Then, ira-round off na lang natin. That becomes 220 conductors. Okay, for the last example, medyo tricky yung problem natin. We have given problem, the armature of a 4-pole 128 slot shunt generator is lap wound with 4 conductors per slot. Then the flux per pole is 50 milliweber. So the armature and shunt field resistances are 0.04 and 50 ohms respectively. So determine the speed of the machine when supplying 400 ampere at a terminal voltage of 250 volts. So for the solution, since this is a shunt generator, i-illustrate natin yung diagram. But let us first list some of the given. So for the number of poles, equal yan sa 4. We have 128 slots, wherein 4 conductors per slot. So therefore, our Z is equal to 128 times 4, and that is equal to 512 conductors. Then the flux per pole, so flux per pole is equal to 50 milliweber. Then number of parallel paths, okay? So A, since hindi given kung ilan yung multiplicity, but given kung anong type of winding, which is the lap winding, we assume that A equals MP, since that is the number of parallel paths for lap, and M is equal to 1. Because hindi given kung simplex, duplex, or triplex, then we assume that the winding is simplex lap. Then the number of pole, which is 4. Therefore, the number of parallel path is equal to 4. Then we have the terminal voltage. So V sub T is equal to 250 volts, and the this terminal voltage is equal to the load voltage, and I load is equal to 400 ampere. Then we also have a shunt field resistance, which is the RSH of 50 ohms, and the RA, or the armature resistance, of 0.04 ohms. Now, ano pa yung ibang given? So, yung hinahanap natin is the speed in which the machine is running. So, for the diagram, we have here the diagram for shunt wound generator. This is our RA, which is equal to 0.04. Then this is our shunt field resistance, RSH, which is equal to 50 ohms. Then for the load voltage, so meron tayo ditong load. So we have IL, which is equal to 400 ampere, and the terminal voltage here is, so we have 250 volts. Okay, so first we need to find the generated voltage EG. So the same dito, hindi natin alam yung EG. So for our shunt generator, so in the next slide, so to calculate the generated voltage in our shunt generator, we have EG is equal to IA RA plus our load voltage. Then for the armature current, IA, we have IL, or the load current, plus the shunt field current. And our shunt field current, ISH, is equal to the load voltage divided by the shunt field resistance, RSH. Now, given yung load voltage natin, which is equal to terminal voltage and the shunt field resistance, we can calculate the shunt field current. Therefore, shunt field current is equal to our load voltage 250 divided by 50 ohms na shunt field resistance. Therefore, yung shunt field current natin is equal to 5 ampere. Now, this shunt field current is important to get the armature current because idadagdag natin yan doon sa load current. Therefore, for the armature current IA, we have the load current which is 400 ampere plus yung nakuha natin na shunt field current which is 5 ampere. So, our armature current is equal to 405 ampere. Then, finally, to get the value of our generated voltage sa ating shunt generator, we have EG is equal to the product of armature current and armature resistance plus our terminal voltage or load voltage. So, substitute lang natin yung mga given. We have IA of 405 ampere times RA is 0.04 ohms plus our terminal voltage of 250 volts. So, the value of our generated voltage is equal to 266.2 volts. Now, this 266.2 volts is important in getting the speed of our machine because if we recall the formula, our EG is equal to P Zn flux over 60A. Since the flux per pole is given in milliweber, we eliminate the 10 raised to negative 8 na minumultiply natin. So, to get the speed, we rearrange the formula. We have our speed is equal to our EG times 60A over P Z flux. Now, if we substitute all those value na nakuha natin doon sa na-enumerate natin doon sa previous slide and yung EG na nakuha natin dito, so we can get the speed of 624 RPM. So, substitute lang natin yung EG, yung A, yung P, and Z, tapos yung flux per pole dito sa formula na to. So, we can arrive at this value of 624 RPM. And that's it for today. Thank you very much and have a good day.